when you look at someone that's overweight,
Yeah.
like,
Your habits are This is what I say. Genes load the gun. You pull the trigger. I'm going to choose health above all else. I met my husband at 32, had a baby at 38, and
that's
everything went whoosh. Postpartum depression, anxiety. I literally did not want to confront my life any longer. You know what's not fun? Is a really horrible period and cycles I can't predict and headaches and being fat.
Yeah.
That's not fun for me.
Yeah.
We're a group of friends united by a common purpose to create happy, stable, valuable women around the world. Because if it happened to us, it probably happened to you too.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Women Show. Today, I have with me my friend, Claude Racine Valinsky. Yeah. Welcome to the Real Women Show.
Thank you for having me, Lucia.
I'm so excited about this. You guys, she is a no-nonsense certified functional nutritionist. And we're going to get into that. After being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, she dove deep into nutrition and was able to reverse it and also lose 35 pounds.
Yes.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I wanted to have you on the Real Women Show because I see you helping so many women out there, whether it's with an autoimmune disease or their weight loss, confidence, beauty, body, all of these things. So I wanted our audience to get a little bit of you.
Thank you.
And also learn how they can work with you too. But tell me about you. Let's go back to Claude, like your childhood. I want to tap into that.
Okay.
And then we will get to all the exciting parts that have been happening recently.
Oh.
But where are you from?
I was born in Montreal, Canada. So I'm French Canadian. And then at 8 years old, my dad moved us to Arizona.
Okay.
And we lived there for 5 years, and then he moved us again to Arkansas.
Wow.
Where I spent 7 years of my life, like 7th grade through 2 years of college.
Wow.
And I began dancing at the age of 9. My mom actually wanted to put me in dance so that like I could learn English more quickly. Like,
you spoke French?
I spoke French.
Okay.
So first day of 3rd grade in Arizona, my parents were like, bye, have a good day. And I spoke no English. And I guess they were told somebody was there that could like translate. They lied.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm just crying the whole day. Like, what the is going on?
Not being able to communicate is the worst. I've been there.
You've been there.
Yeah.
I fell in love with dance and then was doing really well at my studio. And when I was 13, my dad's like, we're moving to Arkansas. He's like, but it won't be as big of a culture shock this time. And so that was another shock to the system. You know, it's the South. The culture's different.
Right.
Very like religious, which I wasn't used to. But all that to say, when the time came, my dad was like, you have to go to school, to college. I said, fine. And after 2 years of torture, it's like, Dad, you got to let me get out of here.
No.
I want to go dance.
Okay.
So I quit college after 2 years, moved to Los Angeles to pursue a dance career. And I was pretty successful doing that for 18 years.
Wow.
Toured with like Avril Lavigne, danced for Chris Brown, J-Lo. Like it was a very exciting, unstable lifestyle. But I was always like fit, you know, I was
you
always
were a dancer.
Yeah. Very body conscious.
Right.
I can't say I was healthy. Like I ate a lot of fast food.
Did you drink a lot?
I didn't drink a lot. I was not a big drinker. Okay. Something happened in high school where like I drank one night and somebody said they were going to be designated driver and they weren't. And I remember being like, I put my trust in you. And then after that moment, I was like, I will never trust anyone else to be designated driver. So I stopped drinking.
You were very mature for high school. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, no, I was terrified.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I started drinking again, like when I was 26. I went on tour with this guy named Corbin Bleu. Okay. He was a Disney guy from High School Musical. And, you know, tour life is like, live your best life. You're free. Drink. Wow. We would get drunk on the bus. Like, anyway, you know, you wake up at that age and you're like, I'm fine. So I can't, but everything's on the go. So I was always grabbing like McDonald's, Taco Bell. Like I just, and then at 38, because when you're a dancer, like everything kind of happens a little bit later because you only have your body as it is for so long. And a lot of dancers have babies later. Anyway, I met my husband at 32, had a baby at 38.
Wow.
And
that's
everything went whoosh. And just, I fell flat on my face. Like, what is happening with my body, with my mind? Postpartum depression, anxiety. Like, I literally did not want to confront my life any longer.
You were like, this is not what I want. This is, and throughout your pregnancy, were you like excited?
Yes.
It was a good pregnancy.
I loved being pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. I had beautiful long mermaid hair like yours. And
which we're working on. You're going to get that back.
I'm working on it currently. Okay. We're about a month in.
Yeah.
Just you're glowing.
Yeah.
This is not every woman, but I had a very good experience. I was happy. No morning sickness.
Yeah. And then you had the baby, and this is where, you went through a really tough time.
Yeah.
And when did you find out you had an autoimmune disease?
I found out in October of 2020, so 10 months postpartum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I got pregnant, I was like in the best shape of my life.
Wow.
We had just finished filming a Beachbody workout, my husband and I.
Wow.
We were the cast in 21 Day Fix Real Time, if you guys know Beachbody out there. And on the last day of filming, they make you take a body scan. And then at the bottom, it's like, if you're pregnant, you can't. And I remember reading that and going, you know what? I feel like I'm weeks late. Like, I haven't had my period in a long time.
Yeah.
So I looked at my husband because
Yeah.
I go, you need to go get a pregnancy test before I take this.
So you didn't do, wow.
Before I take this body scan. So he runs to CVS, gets a test. I go in the bathroom and I come out and I'm like, I look at him and I go, and of course, when you first find out you're pregnant, like there's this whole thing where you don't tell anyone. I don't know. So I was like, oh God, no one can know. But the main trainer, Autumn Calabrese, walks in. She's like, Claude, I need you to go take your scan. And I looked at her and I was like, I can't. And she goes, oh, are you pregnant? And I was like, yes. So needless to say, I spent like a good 4 months just getting my ass in shape. And then on the last day, like just rock hard abs. I was like, look at me, pregnant. And I was like, okay, well, there goes my body for a little bit.
Okay.
And I didn't really I didn't know anything about nutrition. When I tell you I was having M&Ms and Coke probably 3 times a week.
Wow.
That's what I was doing. Pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about like how when you consume certain foods when you're younger, how you can process that a lot faster. I mean, you're having a baby at 38, but you were you were working out, moving, active. At least your body was active, but your diet was off. Yeah. Now, knowing what you know now about nutrition, okay, what is your viewpoint on postpartum and all of these things that a lot of women go through? I'm not a mom yet, but I do hear, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen like that something goes wacko, right? something goes nuts. So now knowing like the information that you know now, you didn't know that back then. You were like, whoa, what's happening? Things were happening to you.
Yeah.
What would you say to women out there? Do you feel like you can prevent postpartum?
I think I think that you can definitely minimize the symptoms, because postpartum depression is a symptom of something else, right? And if your gut is inflamed, if your liver's not functioning properly, then your brain is also inflamed. And I do believe that a lot of anxiety and depression comes from our gut and the fucking crap that we eat in this country. And so had I known what I know now, I wouldn't be who I am now. So it's like
now you're helping a lot of women because of what you went through.
Right. I always say, I took an L. Like I was like, I
took it for you guys.
I took it for the betterment of the planet, and I'm fine. I'm the chosen one.
Yeah, got that. Yeah.
It is empowering, and I'm so glad I went through it, or I wouldn't be able to help women. But food is our ultimate. It is the biggest, the biggest power we have. But it can either help us survive or it's going to kill us. And there really is no in between.
Okay. I know you're very, very strict. I don't know if that's the right word, actually. You're just
I'm
very
committed.
conscious. You're committed. Thank you. You're committed because I see you when you eat and you're just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And you just commit to it. And we were talking about this when we were driving, like, yeah, I'm weird because I do certain things, right? But I'm just like, no, maybe, not maybe. It's like, because you're doing so much of the right things, to the masses, it might be weird.
Right.
Like, why is she so what with food or blah, blah, blah. But it's like,
that's no fun. Oh, that's boring.
What
you know what's no fun?
Sugar.
Your body craves sugar because there's bad bacteria in your gut going, feed me, feed me, feed me.
Yeah.
And then you're just
But that's what people say, right? My body wants blah. And they listen to the body.
I just made a reel about that too.
Okay.
Like,
tell me about it.
well, women are like, I'm just listening to my body. Like right now it wants pizza and ice cream. And I'm like, that ain't your body telling you what you need. That is the bad bacteria in your gut screaming for you to feed it before it dies.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So we can prevent or minimize postpartum.
Yes.
Through nutrition.
Through an anti-inflammatory diet, which sounds exactly like what it is. You're eliminating gluten, dairy, sugar, and obviously no alcohol.
Okay.
So that you get rid of all the inflammation in the body.
Okay.
Your gut can heal and your liver can function well, because the liver has many jobs, and one of its biggest jobs is to metabolize our hormones. And if your liver's not functioning properly, then your hormones are going to be imbalanced. And women think like, oh, my hormones are out of whack, I'm going to go get on the pill. When really, if you just clean up your gut and liver, your hormones will balance themselves. And that happened to me. I was estrogen dominant when I was going through all my health issues. And just through proper nutrition, we were able to bring my estrogen levels down, testosterone and progesterone levels up. This is strictly through nutrition and proper exercise.
No meds.
No medication.
Do you support medication for weight loss or anything like that?
Absolutely not. Like, no, you can't. Not being able to lose weight is a symptom. And that's when you go to the doctor, they're addressing the symptom, the what.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't sleep? Here, take, I don't know, whatever it is, sleep med, Valium. Oh, you have anxiety? Here's Ativan. But there's a reason why you're experiencing anxiety. There's a reason why you can't sleep. And functional nutrition addresses the why. And we get your body to actually be able to function at its best.
Yeah. I love that. Now, what about women who don't have babies? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have no excuse. So I think we get along so well because we're very straightforward. We're like those friends that are just going to be like, get the fuck out of here. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, might be a little too much, but we care. So we're not going to sugarcoat it.
Right.
Okay. Women who are, I don't know, because I feel like when you're in your early 20s, you can eat and drink whatever, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, if you were a little bit more, if we had more data when we're younger, I feel like the story would be different. But anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 28 to 35.
Okay.
No babies yet.
Okay.
But your body's changing. Now you're not 21 anymore.
Right.
Now whatever you eat, or even if you drink alcohol, you're dying the next day, you know, and you start to gain weight in places that maybe you don't like them to be. And you know, I hear like, it's not that they can say like the babies or whatever, but I don't have time. I work a lot, or I don't know, the diet, like, you know, excuse. What do you feel like a diet for someone around that age? Or a lifestyle. I don't even know what to call. Like, I don't even know. I don't want to tell them what to do, but you know, like
I do.
Okay, please.
Because I'm trying to help at that age. It's like, let's not play damage control when you're 40 after you've just like fucked everything up. And now your body is slower. Now it's harder to lose weight. Now it's harder to balance your hormones. Let's just prevent it and start eating anti-inflammatory from the moment you're as young as you want. Like if you're 21 listening to this, alcohol is a toxin. And we are sold on this idea of like, we celebrate with alcohol. Yeah, it's poison in your body. And it's going to, when you're like, oh, my period is just awful and my cycles are out of whack and I have crazy migraines. And then you go to the doctor and he's like, here, get on birth control.
Oh my God.
And now that's screwing up your endocrine system even more. So
you don't promote birth control?
No.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Okay.
There's anything that's inhibiting the body from just performing how it's supposed to perform.
Doesn't it trick your body that you're pregnant? Somebody told me that and I'm like, what? How does a pill do that?
I don't know.
Tricks my entire body to think that I'm pregnant so I can no longer get pregnant.
That's great.
It's crazy.
And you said something to me at lunch that I was I'm very aware of, like, the body. And I have been, whether that's because I'm a dancer and it's like I'm always with the body or whatever. I was on birth control when I was 16 for acne. So the dermatologist was like, here, birth control will get rid of all your acne. And I remember 5 years in, I was 21, and I started being like a raging bitch. Like, I was like, I hate everyone. I am miserable. This is not normal. And immediately I threw the pills out and was never on birth control ever again. So I'm grateful for that. But just those negative side effects should warn you, like, maybe this is not it.
No, it's nutrition. It goes back to our food, like you said.
That's it.
Like, no meds.
No meds.
I'm not an advocate of meds either.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone get better.
No.
Like, fully healed. It might cover the problem for a while. But, like, do you actually handle the problem with meds? I haven't seen anyone.
Right. Like anything, like endometriosis. People I have ovarian cysts. I have this, I have that. When I tell you that your nutrition can heal all of that, regulate your cycles, and make it seem like I don't even know that my period is coming anymore because I have basically no inflammation in the body.
Wow.
And you don't have to suffer like that. And it is not, it really is as easy as just fixing your nutrition. Now, not many women are willing to do that. But I want to have fun, Claude. How boring. You can't have pasta and wine.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's not fun is a really horrible period and cycles I can't predict and headaches and being fat.
Yeah.
That's not fun for me.
Yeah. I want to tell you, like, when I started to become more aware of my body was when I did a program where I went in the sauna and I was sweating they told me the program was, you're going to sweat all the bad things. So I'm thinking, okay, like alcohol, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really do drugs, but they, in the program, it's like, well, if you did any drugs, you can also sweat those out because those things stay in your fat cells and that affects the body.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know, like, before that program, I was aware of what was going on, but not to the point where I can actually remember that I ate something and now that's why I feel this way. You know what I mean? It was just like, go. Oh, I feel bad. Okay, whatever. Drink more Coke. I was like, I would drink Coke every single day.
Wow.
I know. Like, that was after the hangover, like, I would Coke in the morning for breakfast. It was so bad, right? So I couldn't pinpoint. I was so fogged up, right? By, like, whatever the alcohol, but also I had 2 surgeries before that program. So I didn't know the anesthesia stays in your body for years.
Oh my God.
So after I did the program, I remember, like, it was 360 to where, like, oh, I have a body.
Wow.
Like this is mine and I'm supposed to give it things that it needs and wants, and I'm not going to give it things that are going to harm it or make it foggy or confused, because you forget. When you drink a lot, I used to forget everything.
Oh, same. I don't know how I got home with my purse half the time.
Yeah.
Like, how is this here?
It's just attached to me. I just knew to not move my arm. But, it's like the level of awareness. So sometimes when we're talking to people and maybe you find yourself getting upset, like, oh, it's so easy for them to lose weight, or, oh, it's so easy to talk about it. I feel like sometimes you get that reaction from people.
Sure.
Where, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I think doing programs or having a coach or doing some sort of course or getting the right information can help you to get to a level of awareness where you're like, now you get it. Instead of getting upset, you're more open to learning. And I really think that's where, like, this program, I think you've done it too.
Yeah.
helped me know and be more in tune with my body and take care of it.
I love that.
And I didn't know anything about nutrition. I really wasn't into that yet, but I was like, okay, I don't want to drink like how I used to. I don't want to, maybe I think dairy is bad for me because every time I eat dairy, like it's not nice. So maybe now I'm aware. So when I look at it, it's not this compulsive thing to just have it. It was like, oh no, I remember that when I do this over here doesn't feel right, or this over here, you know what I mean? It was really, really crazy. But I think
I love that.
Having people raise their level of awareness as far as like, hey, you have a body, you're supposed to take care of it. You shouldn't obsess over it, but you should be aware what makes it hurt and also what makes it not hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's also where you come in as a coach.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can tell people, you can guide them. You're very knowledgeable in that area.
Yeah. And you don't know what you don't know. And until I was diagnosed with an autoimmune and gained 40 pounds, like, again, I could just do whatever I wanted and stay this big. I didn't know. I knew that, like, okay, if I eat McDonald's 5 times a day, I'll probably gain weight. But I never knew what it was doing to my gut, to my insides. And then when I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and I found a functional nutrition, and she said, well, it's all in your gut. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I had never paid attention to there could be something
One
wrong.
part of the body.
No.
Yeah.
And another thing with dancers is we're, maybe not all of us, but I was really good at ignoring pain, because if you're hurt, you may not get booked for that job.
Wow.
So you're always like, nope, I'm fine. Oh,
It's just a stretch muscle.
Yeah, it'll work itself out. Same thing with, like, if I ate food and I didn't feel good, like, whatever, I'll feel
through.
fine in in an hour or tomorrow when I wake up, no big deal. So even after doing that program that we both did, like, it felt fine, but I still didn't have that awareness of like, but I mean, I was glad to get all of that stuff out of my body. You almost feel like, okay, now I can start from like a ground zero.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest, like, even after that, I would still eat not so good things.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to. I was this big.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's important when it comes to nutrition, you have to really reprogram your childhood. You have to reprogram what society has taught you about food and really just like make a decision that I'm going to choose health above all else. Whether I grew up in a Mexican family and all we ate was tortillas and tacos and, oh, but I'm Italian, Claude, we drink and we have bread and pasta. And it's like, at some point you have to drown that noise out and choose your
Italians
health.
are going to come for it.
Come for me. I'm French. Like, people are like, Claude, it just, you don't understand. My husband eats like this, and I come from an Italian family, and I'm like, oh no.
But I also think that's like, because when you go to Italy, like actual Italian food, like in Italy, in Europe, you can kind of get away with a good pasta that is not going to be like a pasta here in America. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Okay. I do agree.
But then if you're eating here, or there's ways to cook food too, where like, it can be something really fatty or something. But since we're on that topic, what's your take on people that are overweight? Like when you look at someone that's overweight, like
your habits are shit. That's it. There is no genetics. If you go way back down the genetic line, everyone was fit. Men had to be fit. They had to go fucking hunt and protect their families. And women too. We had to travel. We had to move. If you go back, everyone was fit. So down your genetic line, people were fit. Somebody along the way messed that up and got fat. And now you're like, well, it's genetic. This is what I say. Genes load the gun. You pull the trigger. So Hashimoto's is a gene that I had in my body for probably my whole life. I pulled the trigger some point down in my life with a traumatic event, AKA birth, treating my body like shit, eating crap, drinking. Boom, I did that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is possible for anyone, no matter what you think is going on, to lose weight. And it really all comes down to what you're putting in your mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. Habits.
So when you're working with people, when they come to you, all of your clients are overweight.
Yes.
Nobody comes to you like, I'm obviously.
No.
Okay. So how do you tell them that? I mean, you're a pretty straightforward person. That's why I get along with you, because I'm the same way. But, you know, when you have a client or somebody watching right now, they know they're overweight. They know they don't like their bodies, but they pretend that everything is fine and they're going to do something about it. Like, how do you go to that first step where you basically just tell them your habits are shit?
Well, a lot of people come to me through Instagram. So they've already seen my content. They already know what kind of coach I am, what kind of woman I am, that I really don't accept any bullshit from anyone. And the reason is that's preventing you from living the life you want to live and having the body you want to have. So why am I going to let you have your crap? And I don't let myself have it, right? And I know what got me from 40 pounds overweight to losing 35 pounds. And I'm not going to give you anything less than that. So I'm very straightforward with them. Anytime somebody gives me an excuse like, oh, but you know, my husband eats like crap. Well, what does his food have to do with you? You know, well, I come from an Italian family. What does that have to do with the choices you can make from today on out? And I just let them know, like, all of this is in your hands. Like, how powerful is that? That you have the power to actually create the body you want. You just have to be willing.
Have you ever had clients where they just like, they keep giving you excuses? How do you?
I had one client in particular who, she was very excited when she first joined and sent me a video crying, like, I can't believe this food. I feel full. I feel full of energy. And then about a month in, she was like, I just don't know why I can't have cheese or cream or this. She's like, this is very hard. I'm Italian. I cook Italian food for my social media. And I was like, how long are you going to keep being that identity and let these foods identify who you are? And we had many conversations, but sometimes it's really, you can't get through to the being. They are too stuck in the identity that they currently are or have been. And in order to make any kind of change, you have to be willing to just become someone totally new with totally new habits.
You just don't take it because it's not like you don't make excuses for you. Like when you say that, when she's telling you this, like I'm thinking like, but I would want to have cheese once in a while. So it's like, it's good that you don't take it, because as the coach, like I'm in sales. When somebody gives me an excuse or an objection, like I don't take it, because to me it's not real. Like it's like, no, like, you know.
I love that. Yeah.
So it's like, I see it in you when your client is telling you, but when it comes to food, it's such a big it's an aberration. I mean, it's such a big thing. It's such a big,
it's a trap.
It's a trap. It's like you need it to survive, but then if you do too much, it can also kill you.
Totally.
Or like if you do bad things. So how does a person know? Like, you feel like somebody actually needs to hire a coach nowadays, 2024, with all like the crazy foods that we have? I feel like I need to hire somebody to tell me what to eat. It sounds ridiculous, but
it's not ridiculous. Because there's so much false data. So you need somebody. And here's the thing, there's millions of coaches now on Instagram. And I like to tell everyone this. It's like, you have to go with what you feel resonates with you. The coach that you're like, yes, I fucking love her, you know, or, ooh, I like her results. That makes sense to me. Not try to do it on your own and listen to everybody and that like, pick someone, commit to one thing. That's what I did. I found this lady and I said, first, I'm just going to do whatever she tells me to do. I'm not going to look right or left. I'm not going to say, well, okay, now I've lost 10 pounds. I can have some cheese. No. No. And that's the thing too. It's like, okay, if I know that I can get you to lose 30, 60 pounds in 6 months, you paid me to do that for you, right? So if you have cheese though, that's not going to happen. And some people are like, Claude, it's just like one thing of cheese.
That's how I think. See, that's like, to me, that's real, but I love that it's not to you. Okay, keep going.
And maybe for some people that can work, but you'll never know what you're capable of. And You know what? Aside from just losing the weight, when you can say no to cheese over and over and over again, when it's dangling in your face, when you can say no to alcohol and pasta and pizza, when everyone around you is indulging, I'm telling you, like, there's nothing you can do to me now. I have literally just said no to the biggest temptations day after day after day.
Yeah.
And there's confidence that comes with that. There's power, there's certainty, and like, okay, now you're like unfuckwithable.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, deep down, it's like, if I had a better diet with all the workouts that I do, I would see results a lot faster, or I would actually see them through.
And so that's like,
that's what it is.
the whisper.
Exactly. It's like deep down.
Yeah.
Like, because people are like, well, it's like anything. Well, it's just one, I don't know, cigarette, but it's still causing damage to the body.
Right.
You know?
Oh, it's just one day off of auditing.
Yeah.
Is it though?
No, it's years.
Was it just one day? Because I'm pretty sure we just took like 10 steps back.
Yeah.
You know, like,
It's true.
and I don't want to let my clients do that. Now, do my clients fall on their face and have setbacks? Of course.
So now on the habits.
Yeah.
Now, today and date, what is your take on as a like, I feel like you're just so like, this is what I'm going to eat. This is what I'm not going to eat. And you stick to it. You have a husband, a child, a very successful business. You do a lot of personal development, personal enhancement. Like, I see you every time we go up to Clearwater. We're there for weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot going on for someone that could be like, well, I just don't have time to cook. I don't have time to look for healthy food. I don't have time. Today, 2024, since it's the Real Women Show, we do talk a lot about the roles of women, you know. So what is more valuable to you for the woman role? A woman that's out in the work field, working, whether a corporate job or just outside of the home, basically, working whatever. Or a woman that's home, nurturing, cooking, looking for the organic stuff. Like, what is to you more valuable in our society nowadays?
If you would ask me this a year ago, I would have said the woman who has the career, who is out working, pursuing, living her dreams and doing all of that. But today, 2024, I definitely think if you have children, that being a mom your number one priority is going to be way more valuable. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I made it second priority when I started my business, and I lost myself. I got very stressed and like, money, you know, like my value and my worth is how big I can grow this company. And I was not connected to my son. I doubled my TSH levels, and that's not good. You want your TSH.
What's
TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone.
Okay.
And so your thyroid produces a hormone, but when it's not producing it, your brain kicks in to help produce more of it. And so when you have more TSH, that means your thyroid is not functioning well. And I had to take a look at my life and go, wow, like, what am I prioritizing? And I think what's going to be more valuable to society is whatever that woman feels is
her value.
Her value and what makes her happy.
I agree.
But I do think if you're going to choose to have children, and while they are small, that has to be, we're raising the future, and we have to be there and present and play an important role in their lives and make that number one priority.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then everything else falls into place, honestly. We always think like, oh, the business. But when I said, you know, my health has always been at the top, and women make time for what they love and what they find important.
Yeah.
So make time for your health, make time for your kids, and the work and everything will come.
Yeah. I feel like you don't necessarily have to not work and then be a full-on stay-at-home mom, cook meals. Like, because now there's trends on Instagram of like trad wives, for example, and they like have chickens running around their backyard, and they have real eggs. And, you know, everyone over here living in Miami, I'm just like, that's not real to me. And I don't want to pick up eggs from freaking chickens every morning. Like, that's also know who I am, but I do want real eggs. There's so much stuff on social media, right? Like, and the pressure of like, when you want to be something, it has to be that thing, and you have to be perfect or duplicate that exact same thing, where I feel like that's just not real. It's like, you have a different lifestyle, you have a different career, you have a different family dynamic, you know? So find out what's going to work for you. But I do agree that for women, and men can do this too, but in a traditional role, like taking care of what your kids eat, you know, what they're consuming. Like, I remember I have friends that grew up on McDonald's or grew up on, and then later on you see them having issues, not being able to lose weight, and they don't know what's going on because they've been eating that their whole time. Yeah.
That's like, had I known how to eat, had I been shown, and I was fed growing up. Like, it's not like I wasn't fed, but we were eating Hamburger Helper. We had ice cream. We had cookies, chips, Coke. You know, like, it wasn't something I had to know about or knew about.
And I don't know if this might help somebody, but I've never had problems like processing food. Yeah. Only with like dairy, lactose.
Yeah.
But I think because I grew up in my country in Peru, and I ate like real food, and up until I was 14, fruits, vegetables, any type of like, not necessarily beans, but Peru has over 1,000 types of potatoes. Like, I don't know how to say it in English, trigo, very nutritious foods. Yeah. And I grew up with that, and I never like had issues. When I came to America, my mom, like literally my first breakfast in America, my mom is very excited, and she's showing me how to make a sandwich. And she goes, get the cheese from the fridge. And I'm looking for the cheese. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, cheese is real cheese. And I can't find the cheese. And Mom's like, no, this is the cheese. And you know, the cheddar cheese that comes in a plastic bag?
Oh, yeah. American cheese. Yeah. The American slices.
Yes. But each slice is in a plastic bag. Yeah. I looked, I was 14 years old. And I remember looking at my mom and being like, why is the cheese in a plastic bag like this? As if it was a thing. Wow. As if it felt like it was this. Like, I'm unwrapping something that's not thing. Food. Yeah. That's not food. Yeah. And my mom, you know, because it's fast, and she was also working, right? Yeah. Oh, it's so much easier, so much better. You don't have to cut it. Because in Peru, you get the whole cheese, you cut it. It's a lot more work. 30 more seconds, I don't know, whatever. It's just the cheese, the bag, the bun, the ham, and the food did not look real to me. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
But my mom, as a working mom, saw it as a way to give me food faster. But she didn't know that was in real cheese. You know what I mean? So I think that happens in a lot of American households where you're trying to do the right thing. Like, you know, this isn't, especially your message, it's very strong, but it's because you care. Yeah. And I think people need to stop being so sensitive to people who are trying to help. Yeah. Because you have good intentions. It's not like you're like, I'm better than you because I eat this way. No, it's like, I want to help you also learn this and eat the way that I eat. So if we're, as a society, less sensitive and we can actually want to be better, I always say this, get around people that are doing better than you. It's going to be a trigger to some people. If it's a trigger, you're not ready for that next level. If it's inspiring and if it sparks curiosity, I thrive. I'm like, I want to be around people that have more money, that have more stuff figured out. That like, I love hanging out with you and I'm always asking you questions. I'm like, and what about this? And what about that? You know, and then and vice versa. Like, if anything that I know you're asking, I'm not triggered by it. No, I'm like intrigued. I'm curious. I want to learn from you. Yeah. And I'm not going to be sensitive if you tell me like, well, stop eating that. You know what I mean? Or stop doing this. I'm like, yeah, thank you. No, like.
You can't grow being sensitive. Like, nobody can tell you anything or help you in any way. Then you'll be stuck where you're at forever.
Yeah. And I think this happens a lot with people who are overweight and the body positivity, which can be a whole nother podcast. Yeah. On accepting the body the way it is and my genes.
Because it's not their fault. Because they've been taught, like, we've been told now that obesity is not their fault. It's a disease somehow that is like out of their
Control. Wow.
And
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So basically you are effect of your...
You are effect to, people, listen, I do get harsh because it makes me very sad how bad it's gotten in this country and how many people are overweight. People will say, well, you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. I don't care. If I care about what you've been through, I can't help you. And it's not like I don't.
You're insensitive to it.
Right. But here's the thing. Everyone's been through bullshit. Everyone has suffered, struggled, hurt, experienced childhood trauma, has just gone through periods of life where you'd rather die than live. Everyone has experienced pain. And the moment you take responsibility, full responsibility, like I gave myself an autoimmune. I don't say like an autoimmune disease and like, no, I did that to me. And once you're like, nobody else is responsible for this, me, not my genes, not my depression, because
not my kid,
not my kids, not my husband, not my job. Because when we were talking about being busy, slow down. Even like I have nurse clients. I have a lot of clients who are nurses. And that industry is brutal. They're like, well, we don't get lunch breaks. Okay, so if I was a nurse, I would go take my lunch break. And you have to get your control back and take your power back and say like, look, if you're understaffed, not my problem. I need to eat. And, if being fast and convenient food isn't going to kill your kids, you're literally showing them how to die. So it's important to find those and make space in your life to create healthy habits and say, okay, and the more you do that, actually the more successful you become because you're now taking care of you. And now you're going, okay, my kids are important. I'm going to take the time and cook them nutritious meals. And by the way, guys, like I'm never in the kitchen more than 20 minutes.
Same.
But I eat
at home every day.
The most healthy food. Yeah. And like even still, my body is still recovering from, I had surgery last year, gained 12 pounds after losing 35. Like my thyroid is still recovering from the stress that I put on it last year. This is not something that just goes away after eating health, but I work at it every day. I make space for myself, for my peace, for my health. And my business is still flourishing and prospering, even though I'm not like in it.
Yeah, you don't have to obsess about it.
Right.
And I love seeing those like Instagram transformations for people that are like overweight and then they lose like crazy and they're like you can just see
the smiles.
They're happy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how did these people and some celebrities like promote body positivity? And I'm like, it's like how I don't see. I mean, it's just about health. It's about health. It's about your body. It's about.
But on that point, also, before I forget, people will be like, "Well, doesn't mean if you're fat doesn't mean you're not healthy." That's exactly what it means. Excess fat on the body is inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of all chronic illness.
Wow.
So you can't say fat and healthy in the same sentence. That's like saying guilty and innocent. He's guilty and innocent. Nah, you're one or the other.
Wow.
Right.
And then there's also like bone structure, body structure, where people are more voluminous.
Voluptuous.
Right? Yeah. And that's fine. But you can see when someone is overweight and not someone's not. Because there's people that are taller, that are thicker, that are just bigger anatomy.
Of course. And again, it's like, show me a woman's habits and I'll show you her future.
Wow.
Because, like I feel like I have a more athletic build. I always have. I've never been like a very
dancer.
Yeah. So there are all types of different bodies, sure.
Yeah.
But show me what you're eating. And then I can see like, are you healthy or not? Because a lot of people come at me also like, well, just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. That's also true. Even bodybuilders or people that are very fit sometimes have unhealthy habits. So I'm not about skinny or anything or fat or this or that. I'm just make healthy choices.
Yeah.
Just be healthy forever, not for like 3 months and then be like, hey, I'm done. Gonna go back to my shit habits.
That I think that's where most of us fall off. You know, I do good. I had
a little bit of success.
I had a win on like, okay, if I am on vacation or if I am, because I'm going to be traveling a lot, I don't have to have the most unhealthy thing on the menu, because it's always like Tuesday was like, well, I'm not home. I'm not doing my chicken and my this, you know, and I realized, no, because I'm going backwards. Like, why? Yeah. And I see people, when I go out with people like you, I like it because you're we went to eat lunch and she's like, no, I'm going to stick to my diet. Like, I'm just doing meat now. And you order meat and avocado.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. And now I'm eating salad. So I'm like, okay, salad. So I'll do a salad.
Yeah.
But before, whenever I would go out to eat, it was, oh, I'm out. I deserve this treat. Like, I'm going to, isn't it interesting?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But now I'm just like, okay, no, it's like, I like my body and I'm getting ready to have kids. So I want to make sure that I'm extra healthy.
Yes.
Right. There's a lot, I'm sure, that goes on into creating another human body inside your body, which is very freaking crazy.
Yes.
But we do that. Women do that. And we are very important. We can be emotional beings for sure.
Yes.
And because we have the cycle, every month we go through this whole change.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah. Let's do that.
So 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks of the cycle.
Yeah.
2 phases.
Yes.
Follicular phase. Mm-hmm. The follicle is being created for the egg to enter so that it can then have a sperm come in and be released into the uterus for growth. Okay. Follicular phase.
Okay.
Second 2 weeks, luteal phase.
Okay.
First 2 weeks
of the
of the follicular phase. So first 2 weeks of the cycle was week 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. You're probably going to feel your best. Mm-hmm. Week 2, testosterone levels rise. You're feeling very flirty. This is when like your body's like, yes,
we want to have babies.
Put a sperm in me. Yeah. Let's go. This is if you have a healthy cycle and a healthy hormone levels. If you don't feel this way, that is indicating to me that something is off. Wow. This is how it should go.
Okay.
So week 1 and 2, you can lift heavy, you can work out heavy, you can eat a little bit more carbs, like a little bit more calories.
And this is basically before you start, 2 weeks before you start your period?
No. So week 1 and 2 is the first week of the cycle. So, so week 1 is your period.
Oh.
And week 2 is the week after.
Wait, so you were able to lift heavier on your period?
Our hormone levels are most like men's during our period. So we have been told like, you need to rest.
Something is wrong with, exactly.
So use that and go lift heavy. Week 2, same thing. So during your period, and it's very mental, right? So if you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I started my period, you shouldn't even really feel it.
There are months where I don't.
That's good. And there's like 2 ovaries and each month a different one releases an egg. So you can have different symptoms.
Oh, that makes sense.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then when does the energy go down?
Okay. So week 2, testosterone levels rise. Okay. And week 3, so after you ovulate and you release the egg, whether there's a sperm in it or not, well, let's just say there's not one. We didn't make a baby this time. Mm-hmm. Testosterone levels crash. Not like slowly go down, but crash down.
Week
3.
This is after your period.
So week 1 is the period, right? Week 2 is the week after your period. Week 3 is week 3.
Yeah.
2 weeks after your period.
Yeah.
And testosterone levels decrease, sharp decline.
Wow.
So during this week, you internalize. Women go a little more internal. There's a palpable shift of like, things just feel off. I'm criticizing everyone. I'm irritated by everything. And
which is, when you think about it, is I see why I get confused, because it's a week before the period.
Week 3 is going to be 2 weeks before the period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is that ovulation week?
Ovulation week is, it's ovulation. There's like a day or two. Okay. It's at the end of week 2.
Okay.
Is ovulation.
I need to get this down. Because I feel like if you get this down, if you understand it.
Yeah. Then you're not like, I feel crazy. And you know what's also very sad that I need to bring up is men have been making fun of our
genetic build.
You know, my dad constantly, are you on your period? Oh, you must be on your period.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so hard on me to be around this. Well, you know, we're the ones dealing with it. But when you don't know about it, you're affect.
Yeah.
And so when you do know, you can be a little more in control and you're like, hey babe, like I'm in week 3. And this is our superpower. Our cycle is our superpower, as opposed to, we've been taught that it's like
a horrible thing
and we suck and we're weak and we're emotional and we're crazy. No, we're not. And you know why we're crazy on week 3? I just said we're not crazy, but why we feel crazy during week 3? That's because we literally need to analyze, take a look at our surroundings and our environment and go, that doesn't work anymore. You know what? That's not going to work anymore. I need to fire those people. My husband needs to get his shit together there. And we become aware because it's time to do a little cleanup.
And I think that's why we're more meticulous with like home stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. Kids, kitchen, cleaning, like there's a lot. Where men also have a lot, I'm sure, at work, in the work environment, but it's very one lane, and they tend to stay on their lane. Women, we have 25 lanes going on at the same time, and we can actually have our attention on all of them. So I do agree that is our superpower.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I want to learn that very good, because also the nutrition, I'm sure it plays a big role. Like most women on their period crave things, or so we say that we crave things. I crave greasy stuff, salty things. Some women crave sweets. I don't really crave sweets on my period. It's more like,
oh, good.
Yeah, it's more like bad food. Pizza, burgers, Chick-fil-A. Ooh, that's where you'll find me.
Just on my Lucia Chick-fil-A.
Exactly, when I'm about to get it. And it's like I want to, but it's gotten better. Because also, to wrap it up, I think the final message, and we can both agree with this, you are not a slave to your body. You definitely, whatever you think you are, right? But you're not the body. Like the body is just the machine that we have to take care of. And if the machine turns off, then, you know, what's left is you. And then whatever you believe in afterlife or whatever, you know, but you know what I mean? If you really look at it as I have a body, not I am a body, right? That's very powerful. Like when I realized that, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm going to take care of you. I like it. I like this body, you know, and not let it control you. However, I'm not the person that's just like, I'm a spiritual being and, you know, who cares about the body? Like, no. Because we live here on planet Earth. There are, like, I'm not going to do drugs and be like, I'm a spiritual being. It's not going to affect me. Like, that's not going to work out that way. You know what I mean? Like,
that's just silly.
It's exactly. So you have to be responsible for your body. Look at it as like your car. I mean, like, if you don't take care of your car, you're not going to have a car. It's like that. Your house, your bed, whatever.
But also a car that it's different if you have like, I'm driving around a geostorm. You're not going to really take care of that geostorm. It didn't cost you that much. It's probably a hand-me-down. Okay.
You don't even know what that is.
You don't even know what that is.
Of that.
Like maybe like a Honda Fit. Okay, I used to drive that. Okay. Nothing against Hondas. But if somebody gave you a fucking Bugatti, you think you're not going to clean that bitch? You think you're not going to put the most expensive gas in there?
Oil.
And be like, don't touch it. No. Be careful when you get in the door. Don't shut it too hard. Watch your feet.
You will drive it nicely and you'll feel good. I love that.
So now I tell people my body is a Bugatti, and that food does not get to come in here.
I love that.
Just like I wouldn't put low grade gas in a Bugatti. I would destroy it.
And who has control over that?
Me and only me.
Yeah.
My son, sometimes he eats he can still have like some bread. I give him sourdough, but I make him the most delicious like oat butter jelly sandwich.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it smells amazing. You don't think I want to eat the crust that he doesn't want to eat? All the time I'm like, oh, just one bite. But I don't, because I know what happens to me when I do that. And it's not even just physically. It's like, you know, I said I wouldn't eat that. And every time you break a promise to yourself, you're just asking for less self-confidence. So just be a savage Make a commitment. Decide that you're going to take care of your body and choose health no matter what. And then blinders on.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what society's doing.
No.
And what somebody said about this and that drink.
Yeah.
Choose you.
I love that. Oh my God, I loved having this conversation with you on camera because we always have good conversations.
Yes.
But tell everyone where they can find you on socials.
I am always on Instagram in my DMs all day long at Glow Up with Claude. And you can find a lot of free info, valuable information about nutrition and different tips to help take care of yourself as a busy woman or mom.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. That was our first official guest for the Real Women Show. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you're interested in any courses, including yours or the one that we took where we purified our bodies, make sure you check out the link down below. And like always, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. That was probably my favorite podcast interview of all time.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you guys didn't men bash.
Oh, no, we don't do that at the Real Women Show.
We need you.
We need men.
We need men.